The development of the Israeli operation in Gaza deepens as the conflict in the Middle East worsens. As the Israeli military moves into a new phase, Iranian-backed groups have been detained by the CFDI, preventing the brutal attacks they were previously able to carry out at the start of the war. The 40-day war in Gaza has marked a drastic change in the region. Beginning with Hamas's surprise attack on Israel on October 7th, it has resulted in unprecedented levels of violence and possible significant strategic modifications. Israel now claims that its army has secured control of central Gaza City. This statement comes at a time when the largest hospital has been transformed into a place without electricity, water, and basic medical supplies. Hamas fighters have turned the city's public spaces into their headquarters, but Israel has dismantled those places one by one and finally consolidated its control. The Israeli military has raised its ground operation in Gaza to a new level. Hamas members are facing serious difficulties in resisting the Israel Defense Forces. Therefore, the fighters have opted for their usual tactic, hiding in tunnels and seeking to escape. The existence of tunnels under Gaza is common knowledge, so the Israeli Defense Forces are conducting raids on all suspected sites to find shelters and tunnels belonging to Hamas. During these raids, Israeli soldiers searched a religious facility. Following this operation, soldiers reported discovering an underground passage beneath the mosque. Images captured by Israeli soldiers during the operation confirm the presence of the tunnels. These incidents strengthen the veracity of Israel's statements about these tunnels. After an extensive investigation of these passages, it was discovered that Hamas militants managed to escape to different regions of the Middle East. The conflict between Israel and Hamas has brought the country into direct confrontation with the Houthi regime in Yemen for the first time on the Arabian Peninsula. The Houthis possess a wide range of weaponry, including cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and drones capable of attacking Israel. Since the start of the war on October 7th, Israel has reported 4 attempted attacks by the Houthis. Last week, Israel's Aru missile defense system intercepted a missile fired from Yemen, and Israel's F-35 fighter jets were deployed to neutralize a cruise missile. At dawn the next day, the Israel Defense Forces announced the interception of an air threat in the Red Sea region, south of the city of Eilat, at the southern tip of Israel, without specifying the exact nature of the attack against Israel. A week ago, the Israel Defense Forces reported that Israeli Air Force planes intercepted drones coming from Yemen south of Eilat. At the same time, Egypt reported the fall of drones and unidentified objects in Nuweiba, on the Sinai coast, and in Taba, just across the border from Eilat. A week ago, the Houthis carried out a massive attack on Eilat involving 30 drones and 5 cruise missiles. The U.S. destroyer USS Carney, deployed to the Red Sea the previous day, managed to intercept most of these threats, and according to U.S. reports, the Saudis also shot down a cruise missile that had entered their airspace pointing towards Israel. Since then, another missile destroyer with similar capabilities, the USS Thomas Hudner, has been sent to the Red Sea. The Israeli Navy has dispatched multiple missile vessels equipped with defense systems to the Red Sea. The Houthis have amassed a large and diversified arsenal of missiles and drones, and their ongoing conflicts with the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia have given them considerable experience in operating them. Sean Sheikh, a researcher at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, explained to Haaretz that the Houthis obtain weapons mainly from 2 sources. First, they use surface-to-surface missiles from the Yemeni government arsenal, mostly remnants of the Soviet era. Second, they are primarily backed by Iran, which supplies them with long-range missiles capable of posing a threat to Israel. The Houthis lack relevant production capacity, and most of their missiles are smuggled into Yemen in parts and then assembled there. Likewise, they have managed to appropriate certain weapons from the Arab coalition. According to Fabian Hinz, a researcher at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, the Houthis are known to possess at least 4 variants of missiles and drones that could reach Israel, although it is not clear how many examples of each model they have in their possession. The Jerusalem cruise missile is relatively simple and relies on GPS guidance systems. Most versions of this missile require pre-programming of the target position, which cannot be modified once launched because its navigation system depends on satellites. This type of missile is susceptible to signal jamming and identification issues that are common in the Middle East region. When Iran initially introduced the missile, it had a range of approximately 150 kilometers. The distance from the northernmost part of Yemen to Eilat is around 16,000 kilometers, passing through Saudi territory. There are several versions of the Quds missile, with some of the most advanced versions reportedly having an autonomous range of over 2,000 kilometers. Hinz points out that cruise missiles are extremely sensitive to changes in the weight of their warheads. Reducing its size by adding fuel and altering its design could greatly increase its range. However, it is unclear to what extent the range of the current missile could be extended. The Quds missile is estimated to carry a warhead with several hundred kilograms of explosives and can reach speeds of around 600 kilometers per hour. If launched from a low altitude in Eilat, it would take approximately 3 hours to reach the port city in southern Israel. The Houthi rebels possess multiple ballistic missiles apparently obtained from Iran, including the Tufan, a projectile that was fired towards Israel and later intercepted. According to Hinz, this projectile is one of several derivatives of the Shahab-3, capable of carrying an explosive warhead of around 500 kilograms, and with a range of 2,000 kilometers. This missile has the capacity to reach Israel in approximately half an hour. Although its range has been improved, it is not considered accurate, since the version in the hands of the Houthis probably lacks a terminal guidance system that can direct it towards its target once it re-enters the atmosphere. Subsequently, Iran has introduced a new variant of the missile called Imad, with a terminal guidance system that offers an accuracy of up to 50 meters. However, the third such aerial threat from the Yemeni region is the Shahed 136, an Iranian drone detected closely by the Ukrainians. The Iranians have supplied Putin's Russia with an extensive variety of suicide drones, used by the Russians in multiple attacks against Ukrainian cities and their infrastructure. The Shahed 136, known by the Houthis as Wade, has a range of over 2,000 kilometers and can carry an explosive charge of approximately 50 kilograms. Powered by a piston engine, it reaches a relatively low speed of about 200 kilometers per hour. This implies that the journey from Yemen to Israel would take around 8 hours. The drone operates with a GPS navigation system, meaning it cannot be reoriented after launch, and is susceptible to interruptions in GPS signals. Likewise, the Houthis have the Samad drone, in its most recent version the Samad 3, with a range of 16,000 kilometers but slower than the Shahed 136. It is clear that the weapons used by all factions in this conflict represent a grave danger to humanity and have devastating potential. We appreciate your continued follow-up.